Hi, this is Amazing Red, former X Division champion, and you're listening to the official podcast for Wrestling News Source.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
Oh, hi, King Kong. I'm Doug.
And we'll welcome you to episode 159 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. Find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You Steph Dean Ambrose belt. Sorry. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it is at WNS Podcast for the main site, WN Source.
They're done. All good?
Yeah, we're also on Stitcher, so search over there for us.
Wrestling News Source Podcast on Stitcher. We're also on Player.fm.
I'm correct.
By searching Wrestling News. I'm not correcting you. I'm adding to it. We're also on Player.fm. Cultivating mass, yes. Player.fm, searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right this weekend?
Doing good.
This week?
Doing good. Yeah.
Had a good weekend?
I'm not tired right now. So
That's a plus.
I actually woken up after I ate.
Yes.
Yes.
Good times. We had podcast family dinner at the lovely Casa Olay.
It's been a while, guys,
Yeah.
since we have podcast.
It has.
Podcast family dinner.
Yeah. So all in all, not too bad. Enjoyed it. Doug, how was your meal?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Did you have a good weekend?
I had a solid weekend.
Yeah? Tyler, how about you? Good weekend?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good. I know we went and supported our local wrestling with the Hurricane Pro. Had a good time over there watching the No Rope Battle Royale. If only we could have seen all of it, thanks to that guy who was standing up every match. I mean, I don't know how y'all's view were, but mine was pretty off.
I could see.
Yeah. So, but all in all, good weekend. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to have some feedback. Going to talk about Raw. Got some hot topics. Give you our Royal Rumble predictions. Got some Q&A for you. So let's dive on in. First bit of thing that we like to do. We got some feedback. This one coming to us from Facebook. It's from Christine saying, the thought of Bryan starting at number 1 and winning the Royal Rumble made me all tingly inside. An awesome podcast as always, guys.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but
That's
but thank you for listening and thank you for the input. We certainly appreciate it. And it would be a nice feeling, but I guess they're not going to do that. Next bit of feedback we have is from Jeff, also on Facebook, saying, just thought I'd let you guys know that I really enjoy listening to you each week. Keep up the good job.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, certainly appreciate that. Next one's coming to us from Hugh from Facebook saying, hi guys, you may remember me from the promo I cut a few weeks ago on Curtis Axel. I'd just like to say a very big thank you for the shirt and that you guys are awesome. And once again, thank you for the shirt, which is awesome, by the way. So yeah,
Cool.
No problem.
very glad that you got it.
Yeah.
So I know there was some worry about that, but glad that you got it.
I had to fill out a customs form to send that to you.
You better enjoy that shirt. That's
I
all
don't
we're
know if
gonna
you
say.
can fuck that up somehow and get in trouble.
Yeah.
But it seemed
It's
important.
a shirt. We're like, what's in the letters?
They're making me declare value for everything I was shipping. I was like, it's promotional, it's free.
Yeah.
They're like, so how much is it worth?
0?
They're like, I was like, well, it's free. Can I just put 0? And they're like, is it worth? Does it have 0 worth?
Yeah.
It was a weird thing.
It is worthless. That shirt has no value whatsoever.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It's emotional value is what it is. So there you go. Glad you got the shirt. Hope you enjoy it. Next one's coming to us from Stitcher, from Alan, saying, great episode as always, gentlemen. There are 2 things I took away from this week's Raw. Agreeing with y'all, if Bryan isn't in the main event at WrestleMania, then the WWE has completely wasted a golden opportunity. And the second is that Randy Orton versus Cena's dad is this generation's Kane versus Pete Rose. Keep up the good work, guys. Couldn't agree more. So with that being said, inevitably, we're going to have Cena's dad inducted into the Hall of Fame. Because it happened to Pete Rose. I'm just saying. Throwing it out there.
You're calling it, huh?
I might be. You never know. Next bit of feedback we have is from YouTube, from Antoine.
He's more worthy than some people that are already on.
Yeah.
That's true.
Drew Carey, maybe? I don't know. But Antoine says, great episode. I really enjoyed the discussion about the WWE Network. My thoughts were similar to Doug's since I heard about the WWE Network. It seems as if they're going to be going away from the pay-per-view format in hope to boost TV ratings. With them giving pay-per-views away for free, they're going to seem more like a Saturday night main event or Sunday night heat now. Now Raw and maybe even SmackDown being the main focus. Yes, buy rates will go down, but I guess the hope is the people who don't have the WWE Network will hopefully still buy the pay-per-views. The WWE Network has the cable companies at their mercy, and will be interesting how it will be handled. Keep up the good work, fellas.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you.
I like how all these people are all like, "Hey, keep up the good work, fellas."
Yeah.
That feels nice.
It does.
Thank you.
Positive feedback. Yay!
Positive reinforcement.
Well, we appreciate everybody who listens, and all the feedback. It's just really cool to hear from everybody.
Yeah. And it's also good to see that some of the fans are happy to hear from Tyler from the video that we posted.
Oh, the awkward video?
Yes.
I didn't know what to do.
Very good
you
stuff.
Want to test the Zoom feature?
Yeah. It's good
First
stuff.
of all, let's say listeners instead of fans because that sounds super pretentious. And second of all, let's say that is fucking sad that Tyler's testing a mic video got more views
that's true.
than our episode from last week.
Hey, man, there's a lot of listeners.
I understand that that's not the totality of our views because we get some from iTunes and Stitcher and other places, but still on YouTube it was outviewed by this week's episode. And to be honest with you, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's sad. But I'm also a hot commodity. So.
You're an asshole.
The people want a bear.
We want Tyler walking around saying a lot.
They're still waiting for that calendar.
Okay, yeah.
Last bit of feedback.
I hope it's that people were like, okay, this is only a 3-minute commitment. And
it's just 3 minutes long.
Okay.
I can
my hope.
I can duck out of this at any time. Once he said that's a dirty pool, then
I had enough of this.
Yeah, that's enough right there. I've had enough.
What's Cash Money Bear Dog?
Why is he just saying that randomly? So last bit of feedback we have is from Michael from YouTube saying, to counter the other guy who commented well over a month ago, not only isn't Doug annoying in my opinion, but his input is the stuff I relate to the most on the podcast and is indeed majestic.
Well, thank you, Michael. That's very, very nice of you to say. What a sweetheart.
Yeah. And you are majestic, not the majestic. So
Right on.
all right. So there you go. We certainly appreciate all the feedback that we got. If we missed it, we do apologize. We'll, we try and check it as often as we can so that
we'll be getting a lot more lately.
Yeah. So
this is really cool.
Yeah. So, some of the feedback we might, if it continues to grow, we might have to shrink down how much we talk about, I guess. So maybe just pick one or two, or we can just respond.
We'll do all of them.
Yeah, it'll be a 3-hour-long episode and just responding to feedback and questions. No? Okay. So diving on into Raw, the go-home show to Royal Rumble, the show that's supposed to get you to say, man, I'm going to spend my money on the Royal Rumble. Kicked off this past week. We kicked things off with the Authority coming out, trying to introduce Batista. The highly anticipated return of Batista is instead interrupted by Randy Orton, who's kind of adapted a crazy side to him. He's sort of appearing to be a little paranoid. Everyone's out to get him, including Triple H. And
it's different,
Yeah.
I like it a little bit, but I don't.
Yeah. I like it more than his slow, I'm going to kick you in the skull because I'm Randy Orton.
Well, I think that shit's funny when he does that.
Yeah. When he takes his time. But now he seems a little more, hyped up. He's like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? And, kind of losing his mind a little bit. I liked it a little bit more than his recent stuff. How about you guys?
Well, for me, I guess what I took away from this, or I guess rather what confused me in all this was exactly what kind of characters we're supposed to be dealing with when it comes to the Authority.
Yes.
They seem to teeter between we are gonna do what's best for business at all costs, and we may not put your favorite guy on top because we don't see him as a top guy, and we may fire this guy or get behind this guy because it's what we think is gonna be best on the business end. They kind of teeter on that between that and like pure evilness. Like when Stephanie was like that's not what's good for business. Isn't like being like having a pure evil streak, like the stuff they did with Cody Rhodes and the stuff like the whole Rhodes family rather, and the Big Show stuff. How she made everything like super personal. So I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to be getting out of this because they seem to spend the majority of this episode kind of pedaling back from all the heels and like disciplining the heels, and not in a fake way, in a you are going to respect our authority kind of a way. So it really confuses me. I don't know, are these evil people, or are they intended to be evil people, or are they intended to be like cutthroat business at all cost people? Because they're sending mixed signals, in my opinion.
I don't think they even know where they're going right now with it. Because
I think it's what fits best for what they want to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, minutes, not. I mean,
it's like
minutes to minute, it'll change.
Different situations, like you say, it changes.
Definitely, because take a look a few weeks back whenever Triple H was like, "Fine, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. I'll give you something that you've never seen before." Very next week, he's cracking jokes, and it's so.
He's like that towards Randy Orton. What he did with Punk and stuff, the little parts. I know what they're trying to set up between him and Triple H. Who else? I don't know. I
mean, it's just I feel like there's too much authority. That being Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kane, and Brad Maddox on Raw. Like I know they split them up and they go back.
Brad Maddox has nothing to say because Kane cuts him off all the time.
Yeah, and it's just
even Maddox's position is really confusing because he seems like he is a good guy or wants to be a good guy, but is just acting out of being afraid sometimes, and then sometimes he comes off like a cocky like prick, and I don't know how to take that. I mean, it's real confusing. It seems like very night and day, and not in that like. It's like two level. It's not in like we're adding depth and like layers to these characters. It's in they're either this or that, whatever we need them to be, kind of a way.
Like which version of the authority we're gonna get this week?
Are they like, you think they're like telling Maddox, hey, you're gonna act like this in this situation, you're gonna do that? I don't know.
I like Maddox a lot, and I think he has a lot to offer. I just don't know how I'm supposed to be receiving him.
Right. Yeah, it's very confusing as to how it is, And I read a report where they're saying that the authority is supposed to be heel, yet they're bringing in this face in Batista, giving the people what they want, and it's just I don't know.
They're nice to Cena.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they're not painting a clear picture of what they are. They're either heels in the sense that they are a business over morals, and they're going to do the business thing instead of the moral thing, regardless, or they're just evil people who are going to fuck with everyone.
They're very inconsistent.
We're going to fuck with everyone. We're going to do what we want because we are the authority.
Yeah, however we feel.
Authority.
So, but with that, Batista returns and cuts off Randy Orton during his rant, basically saying, I've returned. I am here to win your titles, and I am here to headline WrestleMania, and you can just deal with it. So yeah, I mean,
I liked it. I thought Batista was right on for his part.
Yeah,
it was short and sweet and to the point, and I liked it.
Whoever he has to take on.
Interesting choice in clothing options, I will say that.
I know people like the skinny jeans, but I don't mind. I mean, he looked good, in good shape or whatever.
Yeah.
I made a joke or whatever. He looked like a Guido or
a buff pit bull.
That was just me. Not making fun of him. It's just what I thought.
Everyone seems to be saying that, but I guess people don't remember how Batista has always dressed because, I mean, it's pretty much, like fashion in general has changed slightly from the 4 years, but it's pretty much in line with what he would wear back then. I mean, go back and look at what he was wearing when he was on his way out. It's
I don't know. Maybe it's just because we haven't seen him in WWE in a while, and just I don't know.
Who knows? It was that.
I mean, it's not how I would dress.
It was the Louis Vuitton belt buckle.
Hey man, he moved all right with skinny jeans. Hey, I'll give it to him though.
Yeah.
Some people are, if they're in really skinny jeans, they're hard to move and you can see their nuts. But he rocked it.
I don't know that those were skinny jeans. When your legs are that fucking big, you can fill up some regular pants.
Yeah, it's probably regular pants, but it fit well on him.
It might be like straight leg or like regular fit, just
Fitted,
not baggy.
legs.
He's just got fucking massive legs.
You probably can't fit into skinny jeans.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I will take him in skinny jeans over those jeans with like the overly embroidered like back pockets any day of the week.
Who wears that? Or what do you mean?
Lots of people wear them.
You mean the
jeans that have all those crazy like embroidered designs on the back pockets? I hate that shit.
Like
Too
Jeff
much.
Hardy?
No. That's a whole. Those are like mall raver pants or something.
So anyway, Batista returns and delivers his message that he is back and he wants the titles. But that takes us into the very first matchup. Shield going up against Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and Big E Langston. I felt like this was a very strong matchup. You know, these guys have been so consistent in putting on strong, entertaining matches, and I feel like they did not disappoint in this one. The Shield ended up getting the victory. I loved the ending to the matchups where, you know, they have their typical brawl, you know, they're where everything just breaks down, but the Superman punch to counter Cody Rhodes' disaster kick, and then leading into the Goldust spear, and then the Rollins stomp on Big E Langston to get the pin. I thought that was a really nice finish, and I know a lot of things, you know, can go wrong very easily. So they pulled it off very well. But what did you guys think about the matchup?
This was hella fun with lots of cool big high spots. The Superman punch you were talking about, the counter to the disaster kick. Cody had that nice like springboard up and over to the outside. Goldust had the nice like flipping senton off the apron to the outside. Tons of cool high spots. They were going fast. Big E was running the ropes like a million fucking miles an hour, hitting dudes
He got
with
some
high
air in that jump.
Yeah.
That big splash.
It was just hella fun. I mean, these dudes have been working it,
It's-
and they continue to do so.
It's really cool to, you know, to see all these guys do that. Roman Reigns, man, I love that punch.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean, he's getting better, but it seems like every match he does that like one thing that everyone raves about, and I enjoy it too. Like last week was the drop kick,
Yeah.
and this is punch, and it's like,
And that's a really excellent point, and something that I hadn't thought of before. But yeah, it's like he's a guy who does need to come away in the ring to be the main event guy that they think he is, and I think he'll get there. I'm sure he definitely has the presence and the charisma. That's a good point by Tyler about how he has like one standout spot in every match that's like super athletic, and people are like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like the Superman punch this week.
This guy's going to be something.
right. The the drop kick on the apron last week,
And the strong showing they let him have for the Survivor Series. So
and he still needs to work some basics. I mean, he's still like a pretty much a brawler, a basic brawler. But I mean, I think he'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, the progress that he's shown in the last year is a lot, you know.
it's also crazy, and I know they want to show each individual, but they shift the focus. And I know we've talked about this before. Like it's not Dean Ambrose anymore. It's pretty much Roman Reigns. But you know, they're gonna get their focus when they go separate. You know?
Yeah, you can definitely see the shift change and all that. But it's really good, and you know, you can't say enough good things about any of the people involved in this matchup, especially Goldust. I mean, my goodness, for him to return the way he has and to be so consistent with Cody in their matches, you know, says wonders. And you can't overlook Cody Rhodes for, you know, providing very entertaining moments. You know, the backflip off the top, or moonsault, I should say, off the top rope, and all kinds of, you know, like you said, the jump onto the top rope onto the floor. You know, I'm just, you know, these 6 guys, there are several guys over the past few months that have worked with the Shield and worked with Cody and Goldust, you know, to put on just really entertaining matches. And I feel like, you know, this is one of the strongest points that isn't being talked about enough in the WWE, are these, you know, these few guys.
Well, I think the Shields have been getting like a lot of praise, and they have since they've been there. And So I don't necessarily know that they're underappreciated.
Well, it's always one of those things where, like, it takes more than one team to put on a good match,
Yeah, well, no, but I was working my way around to the Rhodes dudes, but yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know that I think that Goldust has been underappreciated either.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I think he's the reason the team's so over. And to be honest with you, I think his work is what's, pulled them up out of the shit and made them a team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think he vastly outshines his younger brother in many ways. And I'm glad that they don't seem to be wanting to do that, break them up and feud them at Mania, because to be honest, I think Cody needs his brother to stick around to be relevant at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not talking shit on Cody. He's not a complete he's not a complete moron. I mean, he's not someone that can't get there. He's just not there. And being teamed with his brother, I mean, it's pretty clear that Goldust is like the better man there. But and I'd hate for them to break them up only for them to feud him at Mania and blow that off so quickly. I think they need to keep them strong as a team for a while. But I think Goldust has got in his career resurgence.
Yeah.
I think he's gotten a lot of props. I think a lot of people are like, wow, he really not reinvented himself in the way that not in any way, that's the wrong word. Just his career resurgence has just been on point. He's been excellent the whole time.
It's been very good. And like I said, very, very entertaining matches throughout the past few months featuring these guys. And it's become so repetitive that you almost don't want to say it to dull the importance of it. But, they've just been doing such a good job. But
no, they can work each other all fucking
all the
year.
way through Mania.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll watch Shield and Goldust matches all.
Mm-hmm. It's like people were complaining that we're seeing repetitive matches between Del Rio and Mysterio, Del Rio, Sin Cara, Sheamus and Orton and stuff like that. And then you get a match with the Shield and Cody and Goldust. How many matches have they had the past few months? Just countless matches, and they're still going out there and putting on these great matches. So I don't know. It's just something about this group of guys that really gelled really well. But next up, we got to see Daniel Bryan come out and give an explanation to his actions from last week, announcing that it was his plan all along to infiltrate the Wyatt family and pick a spot to attack Bray Wyatt whenever he got him into a one-on-one situation, and he had to keep it low to some of his friends and family, but he knew that the moment would arrive. And I felt like that was a good decision rather than, not give an explanation or anything like that. What about you guys?
I was wondering what they were going to do, and I'm fine with what they said,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I thought it was the only way to go to keep his credibility.
Yeah.
And they did it, and I was fine with that. I loved the promo. I thought he showed a lot of great fire at the end, and I don't know. I thought he had a lot of great lines and I like how he touched on how he wasn't proud of doing what he had to do to get the job done, but he did it, and that's cool. I don't know. I like his lines about the only way you beat a guy with a Messiah complex is not physically, mentally, emotionally. What did he say it was?
You expose them for who they really are and all that.
Yeah, he had some. There was a lot of good. It feels weird to say content in this promo but in a way, a lot of promos can feel so empty that you could almost say there was good content in this promo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I liked it a lot, and I was happy that they chose the only logical way to keep him credible. So
yeah.
Wouldn't expect that from them, but I'm glad that they went with that.
Well, so. I don't know that I totally wouldn't expect it from them.
Well, it's kind of one of those that the logical choice would be to do this, and then they do something completely different.
Well, I think they're really improving their track record. I think they're doing a number of things right these days, and they're still not doing everything that I would like to see done. But that doesn't mean that I'm not turned around. They're improving their track record in my eyes, and so I'm at that stage where I'm not ready to say, okay, trust in them to always do the right thing, but I'm kind of I'm at the stage where I'm like the girl who got back with the guy who's like, guys, telling my girlfriends like, okay, guys, he's changed. He's not going to cheat on me anymore. He's not. I'm not.
He really means it this time.
Right. He really means it this time, guys. He's going to do the right thing. So I'm at that girlfriend stage with the WWE. I'm not necessarily ready to like, put all my faith back into him, but like, I'm taking up for him.
Let me tell you something, WWE. If you hurt this man, shit's going down.
Bastards.
Yeah, it's going down, and it's not going to be pretty. So.
You hurt this man, I will hurt you.
I'm not afraid to go back to jail.
He got a new job, guys. He's not going to cheat on me anymore.
So
He better not cheat on you.
But basically, he challenges Bray Wyatt to a match at the Royal Rumble. He said that Luke and Eric are going to be in the Royal Rumble. Made no mention of Bray or himself. So that kind of worries me. Because a lot of people have been asking, they've been...
Okay, sorry.
I was going to say that a lot of people have been asking, is Daniel Bryan even going to be in the Royal Rumble now?
Could be a surprise,
I mean, I really hope that they don't mess this
swerve,
up.
unless it's true, but kind of swerve them like, oh no, we're not going to tell you if Daniel Bryan's in there or not.
Yeah.
And, oh shit, he's in it. Everyone goes nuts.
I mean, it's kind of concerning. I don't know. Doug, do you think that they'll put him in?
I don't know. I certainly don't think just because it isn't announced doesn't mean that he's not going to be in.
Right.
They may be not formally announcing it to pop the crowd when he comes in. Mm-hmm. There's been a number of instances where guys who had matches have win in the Rumble, so that's not necessarily just because he has it.
He could go in at like 21 or something. Right, give him some time to rest.
Doesn't mean he's not going to be in the Rumble. But to be honest with you, if he's not going to win the Rumble, then keep him out of the match. I'll say just let him have the singles match. I don't need him. Like, if this is a sign that he's not going to win, I'd rather him not be in it at all. I'd rather him just, have a singles match if he's not going to win.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They're not thinking the same things that I'm thinking because I don't know.
It's just the year that Daniel Bryan had for 2013 was such an amazing year. The amount of popularity that he gained, the rise to fame that he got, winning cleanly over John Cena at SummerSlam. The back and forth of, can he be the champion? Will they give him a chance? And they took it away so fast. Like, I feel like, I don't want to say that they owe him, but he's due for this. Like, this should be his time. This should be this should be that, career defining moment. Wins the Rumble, goes on to win at WrestleMania. Like, this is their chance to make that, that next top guy. Not saying that he's not already, but this would solidify it.
Well, I think what I find weird is that they don't consider him the face of the company. They still consider Cena the face of the company, which I'm fine with. I'm not going to argue over, who you want to be your face of the company.
Right.
As long as Bryan is like a main event contributor, I will be okay. I think like the weirdness here, I think, is that there seems to be this, like, why not make two guys? Why do you need a Cena and then you have to put Bryan on the back burner?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you have a Cena and a Bryan?
Yeah.
I mean, you had your Rock and your Austin. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I guess there's this belief, and I hear Meltzer talk about how, well, Vince says Cena's still the face of the company because, he's how you're eating until he's dead, until he's not going to do it anymore. Because supposedly, and again, like, I don't know much about attendance in houses, like I don't know much about buy rates, or it's not that it doesn't interest me at all. It's just that it interests me far less than the artistic side of the product. But supposedly, all the Cena cities still outdraw all the Bryan cities, meaning your quote unquote, I hate saying smart mark, but your quote unquote smart mark cities are still outdrawn by your cities where Cena would be the draw instead of Daniel.
Right.
Kids.
So, but I don't understand why you can't cultivate Bryan. Like, why can't you?
This is their chance to push him to say, hey, this is your next star.
Why can't you have Bryan? Why can't you have Bryan and and Cena at the same time, though. Yeah. Is what I'm saying. Like The Rock and Austin. Like
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, you know.
I'm saying, like, Cena can still be your face of the company, and he can still have meaningful feuds, but you can be pushing Bryan in that direction in the meantime with the belt, while Cena can still be, like, headlining some of the shows and still having some marquee matches with guys. I think the problem is that anytime they take Cena out of that position, they feel like it's a loss or a step down in business, because nobody buys that the guy that Cena is going to work with is being brought up to his level. They always feel like Cena's going down instead of that other guy's being brought up. And that's not because, and people are going to yell that's because Cena never loses and Cena doesn't put anybody over, but that's bullshit. It's just because they don't stick with anybody else long enough to bring them up. So instead of
see if they can.
Yeah, so instead of having your fucking milk and your cookies at the same fucking time because they go good together, and having your Cena and your Bryan, it feels like they're going to drain Cena before they want to put Bryan in that position. And I think that's a mistake. Why not pop all the fucking markets? Why not have both your guys? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're okay. And again, I'm not a businessman. Maybe there's some business strategy that I don't understand and will never understand, or maybe it's just something that's beyond me, but I don't see why you have to drain Cena before you can put Bryan in the spot.
Yeah.
Have them both there.
Let them both carry some of the load instead of putting it all on Cena. And, that goes back to some of the ratings and stuff that they had when Cena was out. They're blaming the low buy rates on Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry, the storylines were crap that he had to work with. Yeah. Remember some of the pay-per-views? They were terrible. You had 2 matches announced. The rest was all, we're just going to throw these in just because they bumped into each other backstage, and so now they're going to have a match or something. I'm sorry, but no matter how much you say, it's all just for one person, and yeah, a big part of it is. Some of the fans go because, they're loyal Cena fans, and, that's who they want to see. But I'm pretty sure that there are some other people on that roster that the fans want to see as well. And, you can't blame low buy rates on one person in the card. It's just, I want, take the Royal Rumble poster for this year, for example. It's just it's like a mountain of their superstars, right? At the top is Randy Orton because, he's the champion right now. But in the front, you've got John Cena, dead center. And on his left is CM Punk. And on his right is Daniel Bryan. So, why can't those 3 guys be, main eventers all of the same?
Well, I think that they are in a way. I just think that.
And they kind of dug themselves in the hole by having the one title now.
Well, I think they have in a way, and I think that the reason why most people don't accept them is because Bryan didn't get that run that Punk got.
Yeah,
I consider Punk to be a main eventer. Not everyone can. You're going to have multiple main eventers, and not everyone can wrestle for the belt. Yeah. So Punk's doing that thing that I'm saying you need to do with Cena, where you have a meaningful feud that's highlighted, but it's just not for the belt. You feud with someone else. That's still people are still gonna be interested in. But it's just not for the belt. But I think the reason a lot of people, I consider Bryan a main eventer, but I think a lot of people don't because he didn't get the run that Punk got, or a run. Period. He got the world heavy, but
they got taken away from him. And
but even when he had the world heavy, it was largely considered to be a second tier title at that point. Yeah. So no one took that seriously. Even though that run was great, and you should, if you didn't see that, you should definitely go back and watch it. All the Mark Henry and the Big Show stuff was phenomenal.
Oh, that one was good, yeah.
But I think people don't, even though I think he's thought of internally as that guy, I think the fans don't see him that way because for them they think if you acknowledge Bryan as a main eventer, you have to put the belt on him. And I would agree to a certain. I mean, a lot of that is just sending the fans home happy and paying service to the crowd. I mean,
but even the sense that they were blaming Daniel Bryan for the low buy rates when you had one of your pay-per-views end with Big Show knocking out both opponents. You had one pay-per-view end with Triple H delivering the pedigree to Daniel Bryan so that Randy Orton could cash in, and then you have one where HBK delivers a super kick to Daniel Bryan and allows it's Daniel Bryan was putting on really good matches. Orton was doing it as well. Like, they were putting on pretty good matches, but the stuff that surrounded it with Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Stephanie, like, all of that, I felt drove the people away. Like, they wouldn't just let them have a feud. They're like, no, we need to make sure we get our time in there as well.
Screwed them over.
Yeah.
I don't mind them telling that. There was a stretch of about 3 or 4 pay-per-views where they fucked finished every main event.
Yeah.
And I know that's really like diametrically opposed of the whole send the fans home happy like theory. In the end though, like, bottom line, I would have been okay with them telling the story if you conclude the story with Bryan triumphing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell that story as long as eventually Bryan gets his in the end.
Not like, hey, he won, then the next day you take that shit away from him.
Yeah.
No, I'd be fine with I'm fine with him giving those finishes. I'm fine with him taking the belt away from him, even though he won it fair and square every pay-per-view for 3 or 4 months. If on the 5th month you give him the belt for real.
Yeah.
But I'm not okay with it if you sidetrack him and like filter him out into a different feud away from the belt because you didn't complete that storyline. Because to me, that storyline has to end with Bryan triumphing in the end, or you didn't complete it. And I'm fine with them. I'm fine with them with the possibility of them circling back around to that one day. But again, that's where I'm still I'm taking up for my shitty ex-boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriends just got back together with him. I'm at that level, but I'm not ready to invest that much hope in him to where they will pay it off in the end.
And that's what brings us back to the Royal Rumble. Like, this could be their chance to make up for that, to have that huge payoff, for him to win the title at Mania and have a lengthy run. I mean, it doesn't have to be lengthy. I mean, it could be 2 or 3 months. I'd be fine with that. Just something that says we're going to let you have the title for more than a day. He's had 2 WWE championship reigns that lasted, 24 hours. It's ridiculous. He deserves better than that. The fans deserve better than that. And this is their chance, I feel, to make up for it. If they would allow him to be in the Royal Rumble and win, go on to WrestleMania and shine.
Well, let me just ask you this, and then let's try to move on, because I feel like the past 3 weeks we've just we basically were like fanboys whining because Bryan doesn't have the spot that we think he should have.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. We are fanboys. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
We're not purporting to be any kind of news professionals or anything, but I'm sure at some point people are like, okay, you're just whining about Bryan not being in the spot every week.
Right.
And we're like, okay. But supposedly before they did the Wyatt shit, they wanted to do Bryan, Shawn Michaels at Mania. Mm-hmm. Would you have been okay with them transferring him out of the title picture to get a Bryan, Shawn Michaels match at Mania? Would you feel like that is a suitable replacement if he can't have it? Would you be okay with him then?
I don't know. I feel like, it would. Just because they all, mentioned, he trained them and all that stuff and he screwed them over. So I think that would be like a good match for them to do, or whatever.
But would you be okay with them postponing a title run for that feud?
No.
I feel like, with the whole HBK being a man of his word, not coming back for that one more match or anything like that.
It was supposedly close to doing it. It was the plan if they...
Yeah. I don't think so. While it would be one of those great WrestleMania matches, Mr. WrestleMania going up against Daniel Bryan, I feel like that would be just one of those classics.
Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
If they give him the Taker match and him and Taker main event Mania, would you?
Nope. Don't want it. I don't want to see it.
Okay.
I
definitely want to see it.
I'd rather Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar or.
I've been saying
Is it because you don't want to see him lose?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I want him to go in with chance on his side. You don't want to see the Taker streak end.
Well, it wouldn't. But him being in the real main event against Taker at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to say that I would feel like I don't know that I would say that I would trade a title run for that, but I don't know. It's pretty damn enticing.
Yeah.
I mean, Taker, he was Taker's pick. Taker asked for him, and I don't know.
I mean, they might actually, they'll probably go that way, but I feel like this is their chance to,
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to frame this up for everybody. And and get to the bottom. Are we just whining because he's not in the spot we think he should be, or do we think there's other stuff we would have accepted in its place?
I feel like this would probably be the most logical solution for them to do because,
I just feel like they're in danger of, like, you wait too long, then nobody cares when it happens.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
That's my only concern is, no, if you wait too long, they don't care when it happens.
This is the stars aligning. Like, this is their chance. And
pull the trigger.
Yeah, just give them a chance. Like, this is, I was talking to my boss about this earlier in the week. You look at the crowd reaction. Cena's usually 50-50 with the crowd, whereas Daniel Bryan right now is like 90-10, give or take.
I think he's like 99 and only the passed out drunks aren't cheering. I don't know.
Well, no, I say 10 because there are, you watch the crowd and there are still a group of guys, some people that aren't chanting for him. There's still those who don't really believe, and that's totally fine. I get it. He's not the,
I don't get it.
The side is he's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest and all that. So they might not buy into him. They don't really know about his past and what he can do. So all they know is what they've seen here recently. So they're like, what has he done to prove himself? So, but I feel like the time to pull that trigger would be at WrestleMania. Starting with the Rumble.
A little bit of that was me playing devil's advocate. A little bit of that was me saying, are we just whining, or is there something like we would accept in response? I mean, I don't know. We've been talking about that for weeks, but
I mean, I think you'd get the most money, I think you would get the biggest reaction from the crowd with pyro going off, Daniel Bryan standing on the corner, holding the championship belt, chanting yes. No doubt. Just think of that at WrestleMania, which we'll definitely be at. So yeah, I mean, he challenges Bray Wyatt to a match at Royal Rumble, and so we'll set up for that. Going back into Raw, the next matchup we got to see a very short matchup, about 2 minutes long. Fandango defeating Xavier Woods, and Emma was in the crowd again, but nothing really to take away from this.
No, I mean, if you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah. So next up, we got to see Kane come out and issue an apology to CM Punk for chokeslamming him on SmackDown last week, and Punk didn't really seem to care about all that. So he attacked Kane, and then a match was made between him and Billy Gunn of the New Age Outlaws with Road Dogg on commentary, and they asked. They asked Road Dogg, why did they leave CM Punk? It was basically, their response was to gain attention. They want the tag team titles, which, you could make an argument for that, but
what were y'all saying last week, that they're done? Did y'all thinking that oh yeah, they're gonna play a part and do some other stuff too? But y'all were saying they're done. They did their part, but they're still sticking around.
I mean, I think Goldust has proved that some of the older guys can come back and still have a little left in the tank. So yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see the New Age Outlaws, but I think storyline wise, it's more to progress the inevitable Triple H and CM Punk feud that we're probably going to see. I think by Elimination Chamber we're going to see CM Punk versus Kane, and then for Mania it'll be CM Punk and Triple H. But what are your guys' thoughts on the New Age Outlaws just wanting to gain attention and wanting the tag team titles?
I don't know. At this point, I kind of, when certain people are coming back and doing things, it's like, I know certain times I'm like, I really don't want them there. And like, I feel like in a little bit I'm gonna be like that towards them. I'm okay with them right now though, but I don't know how long until I'm like, y'all just need to go.
Old school Raw, fine. The week after, okay. One after that,
I'm still all right with them now, but I'm like,
it's gonna go downhill fast. How about you, Doug? Same. Okay. But CM Punk does end up defeating Billy Gunn, and Kane decided to come out and announce that Punk will be the #1 entrant at the Royal Rumble. So there goes the odds of Daniel Bryan being the #1 entrant. But next up, we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Rey Mysterio again, who Mysterio over the weekend actually said that he would like to face Del Rio at WrestleMania in a hair versus mask match. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
it'd be weird. I mean, we've seen these two have plenty of matches. I felt like this match was definitely a stronger showing of what we've seen of them late, but the crowd wasn't into it at all. But Del Rio ended up getting the victory via submission, and then after that, Batista came out and delivered the Batista bomb to Del Rio like that. So basically, I don't know. What are your all thoughts? Doug, what do you think about that?
I thought it was more good stuff from two of the better guys on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think Del Rio's great. I think Rey's one of the all-time greats. I feel bad for these guys because they do good work, and I feel like they just kind of blend in with the rest of the roster. Mysterio just came back a few weeks ago, and he's already just another guy on the roster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Del Rio, I think they both do good work. I like what they produce together in the ring, but they always get the shit end of the booking stick. I mean, like,
And the fans are tired of Del Rio.
I don't get it. Like, I feel like Del Rio's quote unquote failures weren't ever his fault. I feel like he just he was with opponents that nobody cared about, and he
always got very poor timing.
Yeah, he always feels like the wrong place, wrong time guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Del Rio a lot. I don't know that I would care. I mean, like, I don't know the real stakes in a hair versus mask match because we've seen Rey's face. I mean, like, it's not a secret. He just
Not in the WWE though.
Well, I'm just, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a real big deal like it would be in like Mexico and like a real lucha fed where they were like losing their mask or their hair is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be like nobody cared that they're wrestling on Raw except for me, so I don't know who else would care that they're going to do that.
It's like we don't, like I said, we were seeing his face, and like Del Rio shaving his head is
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Anywho.
The match was good though.
Yeah, I mean it was a very good match, and I know a lot of fans say that Del Rio's bland, but he puts on really good matches. So
I don't fucking accept that. I don't accept that. I don't know what's bland about him.
I think it might just be the poor timing thing. I don't know.
I think I will. If they do have a match, I think I can look forward to a Batista versus Del Rio match.
Yeah, or even if Del Rio costs Batista the Royal Rumble, like say Batista
That'll
gets
set
in
it
there.
up.
Yeah, that could set up a nice feud. Say, oh, you want to get one on me? Here's one on you. I just eliminated you from the Rumble. Who knows? But we'll have to see. But next up, we got to see Big Show coming out, call out Brock Lesnar, mocking Paul Heyman. Lesnar and Heyman came out, decided, nah, you're not worth the trouble. Big Show called him again, said, hey, get your punk ass out here. And Lesnar and Big Show throw down with Big Show looking like a threat, tossing him around, which, they needed to do. Lesnar sort of lost his mind and started destroying the announce table and stuff like that. But other than that, nothing really to take from it. But what are your guys' thoughts on Big Show and Lesnar? Just something to help pass the time?
Yeah, I guess for Lesnar, it is something that pass the time because, well, as we talked the week before, we don't know what's going to happen. That's weird with all these people coming back and what they're going to do for Mania. I don't know. I feel like, like I said, they're passing the time with Big Show and Lesnar. I don't mind it. They're just passing the time.
They're not passing the time. You have to feed him somebody who's enough of a name as a warm-up before his next match.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice someone with enough of a name to be like, okay, when he gets his title match or whatever they're going to do next, it's a big deal. And goddamn, this was awesome. I fucking love it. Brock Lesnar behind Daniel Bryan and maybe Goldust. And you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I love him more than Goldust. Like, goddamn, Brock Lesnar is so fucking. He hasn't showed ass for anybody except for Big Show, and he bumped it. He took fucking monster crazy bumps for Big Show.
Yeah,
that over the top to the outside and the hip toss he took like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't mind him doing it for Big Show because he's a bigger guy. I think it's the only guy he's acceptable to show ass for. He didn't even show ass for Henry. And fuck it, like I love that Brock was like, nah, fuck you, you ain't even worth it. And then like whenever like Show gets it over on him, he goes fucking nuts. He's pissed off that he got made a fool of.
Yeah.
And that's fucking awesome, dude. Brock Lesnar,
what
number 2 performer in the company.
I kind of chuckled a bit, like whenever he fell to the outside and tripped over the monitor that he had thrown down, and then he was like, dude, fuck this TV, and throws it at the Big Show.
That bump he took to get down there, though, was insane. Like, he, like, bumped over. He big man bumped over the top and, like, cut a roll as he landed. It was... Dude, Brock, I think
that could have ended very poorly. And
I think the only guy I care about more than Brock Lesnar is Daniel Bryan at this point. Like, he is fucking... Dude, if The Rock was as awesome as Lesnar was, I would have... I don't think people would bitch about his part-timeness. Because nobody bitches that Brock comes and goes because he's fucking amazing every time.
He makes an impact whenever he comes. So
Don't say that. It makes it seem like you're denigrating him by talking about TNA or something.
It's where wrestling matters. I'm just saying.
Where wrestling goes to die.
Oh man, we'll dive into that later on because damn. Next up we got to see the Funkadactyls going up against AJ and Tamina, and AJ is now the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. So congratulations for not having an opponent in the past few months. Anyways, short matchup, similar to last week, except this week, the Funkadactyls end up getting a victory with Naomi getting a roll up on AJ. So begs the question: is Naomi next in line for a Divas title shot?
I guess they're dropping the thing with Oksana because Oksana for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know. They need to do something. They need to give one of the Divas a shot.
Yeah. That'll probably be one of those impromptu or announced on SmackDown matches for the Rumble.
Explain who Emma is. I know I've seen her, but
she's in NXT from Australia, I think. I don't know.
I didn't know if Doug knew.
Just a NXT chick. Be on the lookout for her. Would be interesting. Good. Yeah. Who knows? So Naomi, I think that she'll be facing AJ at Rumble for the title. Bold prediction?
I don't know.
All right. So next up, we got to see the Usos going up against Harper and Rowan with Bray Wyatt watching on hand. More good stuff from the Usos. More good stuff from Harper and Rowan. I enjoyed this matchup. Daniel Bryan ended up attacking Bray Wyatt. Usos end up getting the victory. Anything to take away from the matchup? No? Okay. That takes us into the final matchup with Randy Orton going up against Kofi Kingston. This ended up being a very short matchup after John Cena finally almost 3 hours late to work. Continuity with that whole I'm the first to show up, last to leave kind of stuff, which, you can't.
He was there before. He just went outside and came back in.
We just couldn't see him, though, because he was rocking his new gear, his neon green gear.
It's hard to see him, so
it's hard not to see him now. Doug? Since you're more of a Cena fan, I guess, than myself, what are your thoughts on the new Cena apparel?
I think it's good. I think Cena always has good looking gear. I mean, a lot of the colors are always kind of loud.
Yeah.
But I'm a guy who appreciates a real basic t-shirt design. Like, I'm not a fan of anything that looks like an Affliction style thing. Like, I think it's too busy. Like, I need like simple, not like busy. You know what I mean? And I think he always has like a pretty good graphic because I like a basic graphic. I like a cartoony graphic.
Is it the neon lights?
I don't mind the color scheme, but I think Cena always like I could do without the you see me thing on it. Like I could.
It doesn't have it on this one this time.
It has on the back.
Well, it has the words "You can't see me."
Well, it has something on the back. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's got the words "You can't see me."
Well, whatever. But as far as like the front graphic, like I think it's fine. I think Cena mostly has cool shirts. I don't know.
Okay.
Properly do it.
Yeah, you have fun with that. So Orton ends up defeating Kingston after disqualification because Cena decided to attack. Orton then decided to flee by running up the stairs and out of the building and getting into a vehicle. But, I felt like this brawl that Cena and Orton had was very weak. The attacks that Cena, laid into Orton seemed very soft. Yeah, ow. It was, I don't know. And you don't want to actually hurt them, leading into the pay-per-view, but
can I? No, finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
No,
I don't really have anything to add.
You can finish your thought. This was like a callback to like the first 10 minutes of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't sell it for me. Like this wasn't one of those, oh my goodness, all hell's going to break loose. What's going to happen at the Royal Rumble? We'll have to tune in on Sunday to find out. It was just like, well, he got away. Time to go to the party with the fans. Woo! So, well, what were you going to say? Calling back to
No,
the
I was just
first
like
2 minutes?
saying like, I forgot to touch on the Cena's dad thing where they were like really pissed off that Orton had beat up Cena's dad. Like,
well, that played into the network announcement. They're like, right. We just made this monumental thing. All the world's eyes were up upon us. And what do? You go punch some old dude in the face.
Yeah, but like, Big Show knocked Zeb the fuck out. He's not even. He wasn't even here this day.
It wasn't even now. Big Show. You can't go attacking the older talent here. Come on.
But I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, I guess because
continuity.
Cena Senior was a fan, I guess. But it's just. I think it further like blurs the line if they're like evil heels or just savage business people.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I don't know. This just did not sell it for me. I'm sorry, it didn't. To have Orton showing tail and running away like that just didn't do it.
They said that he hijacked the van.
Yeah, he stole a vehicle from the passenger side.
Get it right. It's his friend Tony. He told him to be out there.
Tony?
Yeah. You don't remember Tony from the game?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Who's Tony?
No, I just made
Which game are we talking about here?
I think it was Tony. But no,
Tony the Tiger?
No, there was this guy they made up in one of the games. He was actually with John Cena, though. He was like a Marine guy he was a playable character. I think his name was Tony.
What game was this?
9 or 10, I think.
Oh?
Yeah.
SmackDown versus Raw? Yeah. I do not remember that.
I got to find it and show you.
Okay, so that's all right. Well, so the Cena-Orton brawl to close out the show, to get people to say, I'm spending my money on this. Did it do it for you? The most epic rematch of all wrestling history from TLC, which is now going to be a standard one-on-one match that you have to see for yourself on pay-per-view. Did this get your money?
It didn't. And I know people are like, what is the reason why you buy it or watch it? It's not because I have a podcast. It's because I always want to watch the wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah, you want to keep up with the stories.
I want to, it's a plus. It's a major plus if the brawl before makes you want to do it. Order it. But no, there was nothing there for me.
And it's the Royal Rumble. This is one of my favorite matches, my favorite gimmicky matches. The Royal Rumble is my favorite. There wasn't even a whole lot of talk about I'm going to be the winner. It was all, guess what? I'm going to be in the Rumble. It's not I'm going to win it.
I like the thing they did in the past where people would line up and they did that little thing in the back where they rolled the little ball. Hey, you come up and pick your number, or someone stole my number. I'll fight you for that number.
Yeah. Have some importance to that.
Yeah.
It was just, we're going to be in there. You don't know when we're going to show up, but have some value to it. Do something. Like, I hope at least during the pay-per-view they have a segment like that, something like that backstage. That would at least be a nice touch.
Yeah.
Like in between the matches, if they're looking for a segment or something, throw that in there. Why not? I mean, ugh.
Ugh. You okay? Is your Castle Lake coming up?
No, it's just it didn't sell it. It's not one of those, oh my God, I have to ask my parents' permission to buy this because I have to see what's gonna happen. It was more just like, all right, whatever.
I mean, interesting. CM Punk is number 1, so see what that.
Yeah.
We don't know if Daniel Bryan's gonna be there. We're hoping.
Yeah.
No U.S.
No U.S., no Intercontinental. Just, I don't know. When was the last time Dean Ambrose even defended that title?
It's been a while.
Yeah. So unless it's been on like Main Event or Superstars, which I haven't been watching, or even SmackDown, which I've barely been catching, I don't know. So anywho, that's going to take us into our Royal Rumble predictions. We'll kick things off with the kickoff matchup. Cody Rhodes, Goldust versus the New Age Outlaws for the tag team titles. Tyler, who are you going to go with on this one?
My gut wants to say, or like in my mind, I want like New Age Outlaws, but I feel like Cody Rhodes and Goldust are going to retain. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about you, Doug?
I'm going with them Rhodes boys.
Yeah, the Rhodes brothers. Brothers Dynasty, Rhodes Dynasty, whatever they're calling it.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah.
They're going to lose.
Yep. So I'm going to go Cody and Goldust to retain as well. So that'll take us into the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. Tyler, how about you kick off the...
Kick your face off.
Kick your face off. Sure.
Brock Lesnar versus Big Show.
All right. Brock Lesnar versus Brock Lesnar.
He's Bach.
Yes. Brock Lesnar versus Big Show.
Shiner Brock. I'm going with Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah. All right. How about you, Doug?
I'm going with the Beast Incarnate.
Brock.
I'm trying to do Heyman, but I have candy bar in my mouth. So. I'm going with Brock Lesnar.
All right.
That's fucking awesome, and y'all know it.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, maybe I could try the Paul Heyman. I don't know.
Go for it.
The Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
I was going for the super articulate parts of him, though.
Oh, yeah.
Where he, like, enunciates.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am going to pick my client, Brock Lesnar.
I like that his gimmick is that he enunciates, like, very clearly.
Yes. You know exactly what he is saying. So all three of us picking Brock Lesnar to win over Big Show.
Is the Brock Lesnar guy going to be at Royal Rumble?
So, so Doug, how about you pick up the next matchup? We only have 3 matches remaining.
They're all tough to call. We'll take fuck it, let's go Bryan and Bray Wyatt.
All right, Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. This one's probably the most,
No, all 3 of these matches are super impossible for me to predict right now.
No, I was gonna say, like, out of the remaining 3 matches, this one has the most like storyline progression going into it.
Sure.
Because Orton and Cena just did not get the job done this week. So who
they gave them the time, they just didn't sell you as well.
Yeah. So, but who are you gonna go with on this one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys sell me on somebody. Because if this is the blow off, it has to be Bryan.
Yeah.
If Bryan's moving on, he's got to win here. But are they going to stretch this out now? Or are they going to have him in the Rumble? I don't know.
I feel like this should be like the end for them, but they may stretch it out though. But what if he wins and they still put in the Royal Rumble? What if Wyatt wins and they still put them both in the Royal Rumble? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's possible.
I'm just gonna go with Daniel Bryan just because. No selling, no anything. I'm just gonna pick him.
What do you mean no selling?
I have no selling points about it. I just feel that Daniel Bryan's gonna win. that or he's going to win via disqualification.
Because they didn't say he's not for sure. They say he's. They
didn't say he's not, but they didn't say he is.
I'm gonna go with
because he could win the Rumble, and they could use. Excuse me. He could feud with Bray up until through the Chamber because he wouldn't need the Chamber match. He's already got his shot or whatever. So
I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt. I'm gonna say that he beats him. And everyone's sad about it, and he makes us later on. Daniel Bryan makes a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble, and everyone goes nuts.
Okay,
that's a good pick as well. Oh man, I don't know.
You gonna bet against your boy? It's your boy.
And also, I mean, well,
it's not me betting against him; it's betting against who's in charge of it.
Yeah. It's you versus the machine.
Fuck it, I'm going with Tyler. I'm going to pick Bray here.
Ooh, interesting. All right, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Next matchup, I guess we'll do the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. John Cena versus, well, that's what I'm picking. John Cena versus Randy Orton. Who are you guys going to go with on this one? Tyler,
well, here's the thing. I think you have to understand, like, I mean, to call this, I think you have to say, they made another mention this week of Brock being next in line.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed? I didn't hear that part.
Trips himself said it. So he said something about, he said you've got Cena and Batista's in line after him, and he said Lesnar's behind him, and then Batista's behind him. So what match do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to do Lesnar?
I know
next?
A while back when they Lesnar first came back, and then they had that match with Cena or whatever, they were like, "Oh, who we're gonna do it next?" There were talks about him and Orton. But
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you have to pick based on what they have said at Mania, because if they're gonna do Orton Batista, I think you have to get there right here, right? Like you have Batista win the Rumble, which means Orton would retain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going with Orton.
I don't know where they're going with all of
this. This last three matches are fucking impossible.
You know what they also could do is you like the paranoid Orton. Yeah. Orton wins, and he's not scared of him. He's just paranoid about him and all that stuff because Brock Lesnar's a beast. He can handle him, but he's just still paranoid about him and all that stuff. So
I don't know. I'm going to go Orton as well.
Weird shit.
It's just the thing that I don't know what they would do with Cena leading into Mania. Unless they actually do Taker Cena. But other than that, I don't have any idea who Cena would be facing at Mania.
Well, supposedly they are still on track for Lesnar Taker, but that would require Lesnar losing to the Orton or Cena?
Yeah.
I would not accept a loss to Orton. I think it has to be Cena because Cena's the one who's already got the win over. So it could be like Cena's got his number. Like Cena's the only guy who's got his number.
Yeah.
I'm still stick with Orton.
But if they're gonna do Batista Orton at Mania, then Orton's got to retain here, and then Batista has to win the Rumble. So you're basically picking on what match you think is a lock for Mania. No, seriously.
I know that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. That we're basically having to book Mania through our Royal Rumble predictions.
No, we're not. We're having to guess how they're going to book Mania.
Yeah.
And which it goes back to what Daniel says. It sucks that they put both the titles together.
Yeah. So who are you going to go with on this one?
I think if you believe they're going to do Taker and Lesnar, then Cena has to win. If you think that they're going to do Orton, Batista, well, I guess you can still do both, huh?
It's just
you'd have to get there differently, though.
It's the puzzle piece of trying to figure out who Cena's going up against. If he's not going to be in the main event. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You could do Bryan Cena, and you could do Bryan win. You could do Cena wins this match. Bryan wins the Rumble. Cena defends against Batista. I mean, not Batista against Lesnar because he's the only guy who's beaten him besides Trips, but that doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if he defends successfully against Lesnar, then you can do Bryan Cena at Mania. If you go that route, but because look, I think there's a lot of problems if you go Orton wins here, Batista wins the Rumble. I don't see how you get Orton past Lesnar believably if you do that match. I would buy it in no fucking way will I buy that.
Yeah. Unless it were like through disqualification or something.
But still,
Yeah.
Then you're gonna deny him his rematch at Mania?
Or if Lesnar gets distracted by Undertaker at Elimination Chamber or something. I don't know. I'm just picking Orton to win.
You don't want to think about it.
Walking away from the mic.
It's like I thought about it enough. Like we'll just see how it plays out.
My brain hurts.
Orton, what'd you say?
You're both taking Orton?
I'm taking Orton.
Oh, God damn it.
Your turn.
It's going to be Orton versus Batista and Lesnar at Elimination Chamber.
Well, like the thing is, I think you can have Orton win here, and then Bryan win the Rumble, and you can finally pay that off at Mania with the feel-good moment of him finally triumphing and getting his belt. But the missing link for me is how do you get Orton past Lesnar? You can't do it believably.
Throw Batista in there. Have Batista and Lesnar.
No,
have Batista and Lesnar.
Batista's doing stuff with Del Rio. They're setting. They're.
Well, you can do that. You can do that on Raw.
No, I think they're being said that they're going to have a match at the pay-per-view at Extreme Rules. They're going to do Batista and Del Rio at Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules or Elimination Chamber?
Excuse me, Elimination Chamber.
Well, I already made my pick, so.
Like I said, the interview a while back, Batista said he would like to work with Lesnar, but I guess that will be later on. I don't know.
Orton versus Batista and Lesnar at Elimination Chamber match, triple threat match. Batista and Lesnar take each other out. Orton gets the pin on, say, Batista. There you go.
Or have a fatal four-way.
Because it would be heel face, and Orton would get the pin on the face Batista.
Or was it the fatal four-way I said a while back? It was Batista, John Cena, Orton, and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well, if Cena loses here, then he doesn't get a championship.
Oh, it's his final.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm going to pick Orton based on the fact that I think for me to be satisfied personally, to pay off Bryan's story, you have to have him beating Orton for the belts.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's what happens. So I'm going to pick that on hope, not much faith, just hope.
Yeah.
Hope and faith, they're different.
All right. So the three of us reluctantly, but still somehow picking Randy Orton to win.
Shocking, huh?
You can't beat Lesnar with Orton straight up for me.
That's why I say throw Batista in there.
Yeah, but I don't see how you do that and still do the Del Rio match they want to do.
You can have that on Raw leading up to it. I mean, basically, Batista came in on Raw, squashed him, and said, this guy is nothing, just like that. So I say have Del Rio cost Batista the Royal Rumble. They have a feud that, ends it on a Raw or something.
I'm going to tell you one goddamn thing. If they have somebody win the Rumble and put up their rights for Mania again, I'm going to lose my fucking shit on someone. If you want somebody in the main event at Mania, have them win the fucking Rumble, end of story. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm putting my briefcase up. I'm putting my nobody in their right mind would do that.
Possibility of if they do Orton and Brock Lesnar, what if, I know they would probably end it now, but what do you think Big Show would interfere? Or this end that during this
that
match?
could be a possibility.
No, Lesnar's going to kill that motherfucker today.
Or
just a thought.
Say Daniel Bryan wins the Rumble, and for Elimination Chamber match, Triple H says, well, we feel that you're not ready for that. So we're going to put you, we're going to put Lesnar, we're going to put Batista, we're going to put Big Show, we're going to put Cena, and we're going to put insert one other person into the Elimination Chamber. Winner of that goes on to win to face at WrestleMania.
That's really fucked. I think
I mean, they've screwed him over enough already. Why not do that? Screw him over again.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's like overkill.
Yeah.
So, but then he wins that and goes on to WrestleMania. Yes.
Again, I don't know.
So 30-man Royal Rumble.
It seems like there's two that sticks out.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna pick if this is this guy if he does win the next guy, but there's just two that stand out to me. I just want to say Daniel Bryan if he's in there and Batista. Yeah. That's the only two that, in my opinion, stick out. But I'm gonna go with, and we don't know if he's in there, but
You're gonna go with Unico. All right.
Yeah, sure. No.
Hey, remember that one time that he had Jey Uso, and now it seemed like a more logical pick this year. Like, I don't know, Jay's coming up in the world.
But it was Jimmy Uso who went in, so he was one Uso off.
Damn it.
So,
I'm just saying,
Yeah, I know, right?
a couple of years ago, that was a joke pick, and you're now like, I don't know, the Usos, that seems
they're,
likely.
They're doing pretty good so far.
They're doing good. I'm going with Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, all right. How about you,
God
Doug?
damn it, I'm going with Daniel Bryan.
All right.
This
Clean
is the
sweep.
Daniel's picking Batista.
No, I'm going with Daniel Bryan as well.
We're going to will this to happen.
Yes, it's going to happen. You make it happen.
If we all believe it will
If
happen.
you believe hard enough, yes. Pixie
You know what?
dust.
If you believe, he will win.
Pixie dust and all that. Happy thoughts and whatnot.
Jesus Christ.
Did you
Give
know,
us our fucking Green
That's
Lantern.
hard.
We need our Green Lantern rings right now.
Did you know the analogy for Peter Pan? Have you heard about that? Like the true meaning behind Peter Pan? Neverland is supposed to be heaven, and that's why none of the people age whenever they go to Neverland.
Oh,
Because
okay.
all the children who are there were children who have died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a downer, huh?
Damn.
I saw all kinds of stories, like all the original like Disney classics, all their real meanings and stuff like that. It's brutal. Some of those stories are damn.
Huh.
So, anyways. So, it's going to happen. Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan, chanting yes, winning Royal Rumble.
This was a hard prediction.
It was.
For this Royal Rumble.
Not since Sheamus winning it has it been this difficult. We didn't think it was going to be Sheamus at all. We thought it was going to be like Jericho or something like that. And he put on a pretty good show. Anywho, time to move into the hot topics for the week. For those who did not catch it, you'd be counting your lucky stars. TNA Genesis Part 1 took place this past week.
Did you say that loud? Or
I don't know.
TNA Genesis Part 1.
TNA Genesis Part 1. Did you guys happen to catch this?
I watched it.
Most of it.
What were y'all's consensus on it? Because I was watching it and I did not like any of it. Like, I felt the matches were way too short. The selling was way too short as far as length. I don't know.
It's been a while since I've seen TNA, so
Yeah.
some of the storylines and people are new to me. So, I don't know. I guess that wasn't that bad. What I think Doug might say they're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're in a forced rebuilding process.
Right.
Out of their own stupidity.
Yeah.
They failed to sign a lot of guys to contracts. Either they let guys go without trying to renew them, or they
didn't have the money.
or they didn't have the money, or they either willfully let these guys walk away from the table, or they just couldn't come to terms because of their own stupidity.
Jeff Hardy.
Well, the thing about it is
he's still in the company.
Yeah, I was wrong. I thought he was going to. They wrote him out of storylines because he can't leave the country because of his probation. And they were going to the UK to tape a bunch of shit, so they wrote him out.
So there you go.
Spoiler alert: Sting. They wrote him out. I don't believe he's re-signing. They wrote him out. He's supposed to be in talks with the Fed anyway.
Good.
Got AJ gone.
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett left.
Yep.
Tons of guys are leaving.
Hulk Hogan's been gone for a while.
Yeah, Hogan's gone. But so they're in like crazy rebuild period. They're losing tons of guys.
They got the Wolves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they treat this as we are gonna go young and we're gonna go, if they sign a bunch of top name indie guys, I think it can be good for them in the way that these guys are gonna work a different style than what you see on WWE. They're probably gonna end up getting away with paying them less. Not that I think that's a positive. I'm just saying that's a way for them to, get back out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it was intentional or not. It's hard to say because all my my beliefs are just my knee-jerk reaction is to say that they're in this position because of stupidity, and most of it is that. But did they get to the point where they're like, "Fuck it, we're just going to let everybody go and we're going to rebuild from scratch"? I think that's the best thing you can do in this situation,
right?
But to do that, you got to have some shit shows like this, I think, to do it.
Yeah, and this was definitely one of those because
that they're doing 2-part though.
Yeah, first off, you're doing a 2-parter for what's supposed to be considered a pay-per-view.
Well,
then it's free.
First off, they switched the main event to the next week.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're not having your main event this week as advertised. We're going to push it to next week. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, you didn't pay for it. So.
Yeah, you didn't pay for it. But to kick off, and I'll admit, WWE is guilty just as much as doing this, having long opening segments of nothing but talking, including this week where they went, 20 minutes into their opening Raw. But okay, this is your pay-per-view. This is supposed to be the payoffs of your matches.
I think you got to get out of the mind frame of this is your pay-per-view. This is your themed show. This is
right.
This is like
it's all changing.
Yeah, this is your themed show. This is like a themed edition of Monday Night Raw.
Right.
This is your old school Raw, or this is your Raw Roulette or something like that.
Right. So, but it's just
how awesome do you think those shows always are? You're kind of most of the time you're mixed feelings on them.
It has its ups and downs, but to kick off with 30 minutes, 30 full minutes of nothing but talking and talking and talking. That leads to a brawl, that leads to a 12-person tag match that ends
with no rules because nobody tagged any goddamn body.
Yeah.
People just paired up and rolled in and out of the ring together.
Yeah. And then
lucha rules.
Then for that matchup to end,
might as well have been lucha rules.
That match ended in 6 minutes. 6 or 7 minutes, give or take. So you go 30 minutes, then you have one match that lasts 6 minutes. You go another 20 minutes of talking and backstage segments and commercials. You have one match starting at like the 50-minute mark. So, and that one led into that was probably a 12 or 15-minute long match. That was the Bully Ray and Ken Anderson match where they no-sold so much. Like they sold it, then 2 minutes later, nothing happened to them. They're perfectly back. But I don't know. It was
Chavo's another guy who's gone. This is off topic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He lost the Feast or Fired case.
Yeah.
So. Not that he was
like he hasn't been with the company that long.
Well, he was tagging with Hernandez, and but I mean he wasn't doing anything important. I'm just giving another example of a guy they lost.
Yeah.
And probably rightfully so. I mean, like what? I'm not just making disparaging remarks against Chavo, but how is he going to help the future of that company?
Yeah, I mean, he can be a backstage agent or trainer or something like that. So, I don't know. One thing that I did, or two things I should say that I did chuckle a bit at was, the couple of jabs that they took. One with the Wolves taking that jab at the tryout match.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be a jab or not because they did make it a story with apparently they're bringing a new investor in.
Yeah.
So
any word who that is?
And they're like, "Oh, we're so glad that you could be here for your tryout match." A tryout match? No, we're not. We're not doing that.
Say that.
We're already. We already have our contracts.
Who did I hear say it? I think I heard Alvarez say he thinks it could maybe be Lagana, but he wasn't sure about it.
It's gonna be Sting.
Well, I mean, that's what they could do that. It could be.
Yeah.
That's how they keep him.
I don't know. I think Sting's finally like, okay.
I don't think I can do much more here.
It's time for him to go. It's so many times where, okay, I think I'm gone.
Yeah.
No, guess who's making a return? Sting. Like, he did like 7 times? 8 times?
The past 3 years.
Wrong. I love Sting. It's just that's how he keeps on doing it.
And the other jab that I kind of chuckled at, I didn't really catch it at first, and then I saw someone's comment on it, and I was like, oh, he did do that. Where Magnus came out at the beginning of the matchup, or at the beginning of the Genesis, and he had his belt and he had AJ Styles' belt, and he's like, as you know, as you can see, I'm I'm carrying around both titles, and I don't know. I think that's kind of conceited for me to be carrying around 2 belts. So Dixie, you can take this one. So kind of taking a shot at Randy Orton there, but yeah, I did not like TNA Genesis.
What do you think about Magnus as a champ?
I'll be honest, I have not seen enough Impact or TNA to give a valid opinion. I've heard that he's really come up in the last year or so.
I think he's perfectly fine. Like, I think he's a pretty good talker, and he's okay in the ring, but he is not someone to build your company around.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about EC3?
Nah.
You don't like him?
Not buying it.
I want to see more from him. I've only seen 2 things from him.
Well, I'm saying these are the guys who, like, okay, it feels like the bomb went off in TNA, and you're like, you've got the cockroaches left, and these are who are like staying around, you know? So you've got your Magnus, you got your EC3, you got your Rockstar Spud.
Oh, God.
Not really wrestling, but he's mainly Dixie's
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, you still got Aries, who's fucking awesome. You still got
Saban.
Joe, who's fucking awesome. But they develop. You know what? I think you have Angle, but
his match keeps getting pushed back.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love Kurt Angle. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he's getting up there and he's got his problems, you know, and he's not gonna. I mean, he's your Sting guy now if he sticks around.
Yeah.
In my opinion. God damn it. I mean, Aries is fucking great, and they haven't devalued him as much as they've devalued Joe, in my opinion, but god damn, Samoa Joe, I think Samoa Joe is the most wasted talent of his generation. I think he is the most devalued guy of his generation of wrestlers, because he was a guy who had everything going for him. Big monster-looking motherfucker who can move like nobody's business. Great worker.
Had that 2-year thing where he's undefeatable.
Yeah, well, he had the single hands down coolest angle in TNA history. I don't care what anybody says. Joe and Angle was still the hottest.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What was that, like 7 years ago or something? And it's still the hottest thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
Where they face off and he fucking headbutts them.
Oh my gosh, that was I have that episode.
I think Joe is the most devalued and wasted wrestler of his generation. That poor motherfucker. He's awesome, and man, he just got booked like shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still got him. You still got Aries. Yeah,
Rude.
Yeah, Rude's okay. I'm not as high on Rude as a lot of guys. You got your bad influence guys.
Storm.
Yeah, Storm. I'm not crazy about Storm either. I liked Beer Money as a tag team. I thought that's where they work best.
I haven't seen too much, but what do you think about that guy that's with Robbie E. Gutierrez? Gutierrez, that reality star.
Oh,
Spectacular or whatever.
They're tagging together. They're not
bromance.
Yeah, the bromance. I don't know. I don't think he's a good worker. I mean, I think Robbie is a better worker than he is, but
Yeah.
not much. I like Zema Ion. I don't know why he needs to be their DJ.
Kenny King
Mo, who's still on their roster.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It feels like the guys who they have that are worth anything are the guys that they've already bitched out to all the ex-Fed guys. I don't know. You got Saban around, but I don't think he's a man of a guy. You got Bully Ray. Bully Ray's a good heel, but this Anderson shit is the shits because I fucking hate Ken Anderson. And please don't tell me you're going to build around Ken Anderson. I'll fucking kill myself.
Yep. So, so there you go. So, yeah, fun times over in TNA. Time to move into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Ryan saying, hey guys, how hard would you think it would be to win the Royal Rumble if the Shield was to draw the numbers 1, 2, and 3? Obviously, since now we know that CM Punk will be first, let's go with 2, 3, and 4.
Rhino?
Huh?
This is from Rhino?
Ryan. Our buddy Ryan.
Oh, Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan, what's up, dude? Where the fuck has Ryan been?
Probably working man.
I haven't seen Ryan.
Come watch Royal Rumble with us.
Yay!
Yeah, come watch the Rumble with us, dude. I think that's what you do when you're ready to break them up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If they're gonna split them at this pay-per-view, I think that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But because I think you have them working together and they're throwing people out until one guy,
Ambrose, get that guy.
one guy sees his opportunity, and it kind of starts the friction
time.
or whatever. But I think you only do that if you're ready to break him up here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if it is mic time.
If you're gonna keep it burning, you don't do that here.
Okay. So, but how hard would it be for someone else to win if these three are in the ring together?
As hard as it's booked, I ain't a fucking shoot, bro. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm saying I think he means like from a storyline perspective. But
Yeah. So be very.
it would be
difficult.
hard until one of the guys decided to capitalize on an opportunity to toss one of the other guys who wasn't looking out. So he could get in.
Yeah.
And that's when it would go to hell.
I wanted to win the Rumble. So thanks for the question, Ryan. Next question coming to us from our listener Trey, which by the way is his birthday today. So happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Woo!
Saying, great podcast this week, guys. As I was listening, I came up with what I think is a great idea. The official WNS podcast drinking game. What's better than getting hammered while listening to your favorite pod? Here's how it works. Step 1, grab your favorite brew and tune into the latest pod. Step 2, take a drink anytime one of the following 3 things happen. A, Daniel says, B, Doug uses an expletive. C, Tyler speaks. Step 3, go to the hospital because you now have alcohol poisoning. On second thought, maybe it's not such a great idea.
I did not even curse all that much this week.
Maybe we can get a tally on something like that.
Motherfucker.
So, yeah, there you go. So, take a shot, have some fun.
Take a shot for us.
Thank you very much. Hope you have a great birthday.
Point taken, but I don't think I cursed all that much this week. I'm serious.
Okay.
Relatively.
Well, yeah. It has been worse before.
Look, the thing about me is
You
like
go on your rants. It's awesome.
the thing about me is like whenever I get worked up or excited to talk about something, like the filter goes off and I don't even think about what I'm going to say anymore. I just start talking,
Yeah.
and it just starts happening, and I have to be like super careful and like really planning out what I was going to say.
If only we were live on the radio, how filtered would you be?
I couldn't do live radio.
Yeah. All right.
Live radio can't filter him.
Yeah. So no such thing. We'd have to be on like satellite radio or
Sorry, I defended. I'm sorry if I offended your delicate senses, Trey.
So thank you for that suggestion of the podcast drinking game. Maybe come up with something else that wouldn't kill you. The next question coming to us from 8 Luke S from YouTube saying, in this week's main event, Ryback did a lap around the ring in every match. And I did actually see this on YouTube, which is kind of funny to see, including the Bad News Barrett segment. This is the new wrinkle for Ryback's character as he's booked to be an insane heel. At one point, the question was raised on commentary if viewers had heard of a paranoid schizophrenic, implying that that's what Ryback was. This explains the bizarre social media behavior now coined as tweet and delete. Many fans started to question the stability of the former number one contender when he went on a bizarre Twitter rant after Saturday night's Saturday night's WWE live event. The tweets continued on Sunday and even seemed to get personal after this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. As it turns out, the entire thing is an elaborate work to try and generate heat virally. Apparently, we weren't the only ones that thought Ryback had, quote, lost it, as people within the company had questioned his eccentric behavior. What do you guys at Wrestling News Source think?
We are the guys at WNS Podcasts.
Yes. Completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, that time where he did all the stuff on Twitter and he deleted, I didn't see it, but there was a guy, one of our listeners I'm friends with on my personal page said, is Ryback fired or he got fired or something like that and released? I was like looking everywhere for it and I saw the tweets, but
who asked you this?
Who asked me this or who said that? You mean?
Yeah.
Was it Jamie who posted that? I don't know. Someone posted that.
Except one of our listeners.
But the next day for Raw he was on there, so I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a weird way he's trying to get over.
Trying to get people talking about him.
Yeah.
Like Zack Ryder tried a few years ago.
I don't know. I think I think people say that he's legitimately viewed as a crazy motherfucker backstage, though. People think he is that nuts. Maybe they're just like, "Hey, be yourself, kid.
Be yourself." He's crazy. He likes to eat Cracker Barrel.
What is the question? I forget.
What do we think?
What do I think about it?
Yeah, about the whole scenario. Tweet and delete and walking around the ring and.
I don't care. That's not the kind of shit that's gonna get over with me.
Yeah. Doing stuff like that's not going to get the crowd into it. Similar to the bad news.
It just sucks though, because it's like
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, but no, they bring him in. It's this big guy. Oh, he's the next big thing, or he's the guy, and then it fails and all that stuff, and you're trying to think of another way to get out there. And
Well, supposedly they wanted to do Goldberg versus him, but Goldberg wants too much money.
Yeah,
and I think he wanted to verse Taker.
Everyone wants
Goldberg. That's what I read.
Everyone wants to take.
Could be wrong,
Everyone wants to lose to Taker.
Goldberg versus Taker.
Yeah, shoot fight.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thanks for the question. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube page, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. You can also check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and Wrestling News Source Podcast on iTunes.
Trey, I'm sorry that I cursed so much. I'll try not to curse so much. I'm sorry that Tyler keeps talking.
I need to shut the fuck up. If you want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS Podcast for the main site, WN Source.
Talking way too much.
We're also on. What are we on?
Stitcher.
You set it up.
By searching Wrestling News Source Podcast, and also on player.fm. All of these apps are downloadable for free, so you don't have to pay a dime in order to subscribe to our show. And if you download it, make sure to leave us a review. Give us a rating on that.
But honestly, fuck all those apps. What you really want to download is Marvel Puzzle Quest Dark Reign, because that motherfucker is addicting.
No, what you really want to download is the new Iron Sheik alarm clock app for 99 cents. And you can set it to your alarm.
Puzzle Quest is free.
And he,
I would say no, download this, but I have nothing else to.
He will curse you out in the morning. So good stuff.
We should start doing recommendations every week.
It's like Monday. Fuck the Monday. Get out of bed. Or
is that what he said?
Something like that.
Is it the real Iron Sheik or someone's?
Yeah, no, it's him.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Certainly appreciate everyone listening. Thank you all for the feedback. So for the podcast crew, I am Daniel Herron.
I'm King Kong.
Oh my glob, I'm the lumpy space princess.
What the hell? And we hope you enjoy the Rumble, and we'll catch you all next week. Bye.